In this video, I'll show you how to use intelligent email delivery to burst a document or query and deliver the resulting content to the appropriate recipients. In this example, we'll be bursting this document, Weekly Sales Report. We'll be bursting it on this parameter by state using a data source. The data source is an Excel file list, and it uses this Excel workbook, which has a column for state and a column for email. From that worksheet, I've created an Excel file list. And now we'll use this data source to create our burst and intelligent email delivery. We'll select our document, we'll create a new burst, and then assign the data source, which is the Excel file list, to the parameter. The column to use is state. Say OK. We are going to be multi-passing, which means refresh once for each state value, and save. Now we'll create the email delivery, add a new delivery. The destination is email, and we'll add our recipient. Now at this point, InfoBurst doesn't know of the recipients. They're stored in the data source. So what we're going to do is give InfoBurst a placeholder for the column which contains the email addresses, and then at runtime, as InfoBurst takes each state value to refresh the report, at delivery time it will then go back to the data source and look for the email address for that value, and that's where InfoBurst gets each of the email addresses. So we're going to leave the recipient as email address. We're going to open our macro builder, and you can see here that InfoBurst is aware of the column for state and also the other column, or what we call an extra column, for email. So we simply select the email macro, add it to the field value, and apply, and the extra column macro is our email address for the delivery configuration. Select save, and save again. Now here's a tip for testing intelligent email delivery or any email delivery where you don't want to send content to the production recipient as part of the test. Select the Burst tab, check the Simulate Deliveries option and save, and then when you run the burst, InfoBurst will refresh the document. It will look up email recipients based on bursting value, and will even go so far as to queue the email messages, meaning the appropriate piece of content for each email recipient, but it will not send the emails. The deliveries are simulated. So when you run the burst in this simulate mode, here we can see the log, we can confirm via the activity log that the appropriate email recipient had the appropriate piece of content queued or attached. So here, for example, we can see that the bursting value was California, and the email address that was derived from the data source was brian@infoburst.net. That is correct. And again, for Florida, it was John. For New York, it was Paul. So this is correct. So this is a way we can validate that our intelligent email delivery setup is correct without actually sending content to the end users. And don't forget to uncheck Simulate when you schedule the burst for regular execution.